So, if you want to see a very interesting talk, I had a discussion with a very amazing guy some days ago. He has a YouTube channel about depression, low self-esteem, and something else you will see, anxiety probably. So he's really a nice guy, and he has himself depression and low self-esteem and anxiety, like rapid thinking. So we had a talk about those different subjects and what helped him and what I see can help my own clients and what I've understood with the different study that I've done in psychology. So this talk is like around 30 minutes. I'm going to publish it now, and you can follow this talk just after this video. So if you have any question, you can contact him. I will put the link of his YouTube channel, and you can sign up on mine if you didn't yet. And if you have any more questions, we can have a discussion, a talk, a session, a consultation, whatever you need right now. All right? So I let you see this talk and put your comments about what you think and what you feel about this discussion. I felt it was quite interesting and for both of us and for probably the people who will watch this video. So please have a look and let us know what you think about it. See you later. Sometimes in between that, I'm preparing some online courses, so I just worked on that a little bit. I do in French right now, and same things, like a free online course to help people to reach their goal, live a better life. The main thing that I'm doing is really trying to give all the tools that I've learned for helping people to live a more fulfilling life and adapting to what they feel. So that's why I was really connected with you, because I see that the way you do things, it's really like, okay, that's your experience and you just share it with others and how it can inspire them, and I can see how it can work.
That sounds like a very productive day, first of all. That's a busy day.
It's not always like this, but it was. Every day are special. The way I live, they are like always different. Sometimes it's really chilling, sometimes a lot happen.
I think that makes the day a lot more fun anyways. Like if you kept doing the same thing over and over again, you might get bored.
And with the character, it doesn't work for everyone to do the same thing all the time. What about you?
Exactly. So I'm a full-time graphic and web designer. So I went to work, but then after work, I worked out, and then I rushed home because I saw your email, and I was like, yo, we got to definitely do this collab. So I rushed home and try to learn how to set all this up so that way, I can help present this and yeah, dude, just like you, man, I don't stop. You know what I mean? I'm always doing something. So yeah, now I'm here.
So what I understood from some of your videos, there is like several aspects to it. I feel there's something about like emotion. So you deal a lot with your own emotions and try to share with people like what works for you. And there's also your goals that seems to be really important in your life.
Yes. So first off, I gotta say, like, my name's Immanuel, right? Tell people real quick. So Depression Talks with Immanuel. I do greatly talk about emotions, depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. And, I have anxiety and rapid thinking, and I have clinical depression. And I'm also an alcoholic. So I say all these things openly because in society, as you know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about their emotions and what they're going through, even though everybody goes through these things, like struggles emotionally. So, you're exactly right, man. On my channel, I try to, anytime I learn a way to better deal with my own depression, I want to share that with you and help other people know that they are not alone in their journey in life. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to do, to feel that there's support around these emotions and like feelings and illness. If you say it's a clinical thing, how will you define the notion of depression when it's identified as a clinical illness or disease, or I don't know if we use those words for that.
Yeah. So there's definitely different levels of depression. Everybody gets depressed in the sense of, if you go through a heartbreak or a financial struggle, a family loss, friend loss, you're going to be very sad and depressed. Now, the difference between clinical depression, mild depression, for example. Mild depression is you're depressed for maybe a few days, weeks, months, or even it could be a year. Clinical depression is when it is a sustaining thing that no matter how good or bad something's going, you're constantly feeling at a lower level than most people are.
Okay.
And you can't explain why. That's usually a big distinction with clinical depression.
Mm-hmm. So did they find a specific cause or symptoms that you can see in people that you can identify when you are at this level of low? You know, how do you like measure that?
That's really hard, right? Because you know we want like a golden, like if this person's looking a certain way or acting a certain way, then it'd be easier to tell, right? But that's not the case. So it's interestingly enough, a lot of people that deal with clinical depression normally put on a face of smiling or happy because they don't want other people to realize what they're going through. So honestly, the biggest way you can tell is just to genuinely go up to somebody and say, how are you really feeling today? Like, you look kind of down. Just say that, because I'm going to ask you a question. How often do you have people ask you, how are you? Does that happen often?
You ask me to me in my life.
Yeah, in your life, like, do you see people, like, when they come up to you, they say, how are you? What do you normally respond with?
Well, I have the chance to feel wonderful most of the time. If there is a disease that is depression, there is another disease maybe that is happiness. And there is many reasons for that in my life. But, well, I have clients, so I'm a consultant. So I'm doing coaching and therapeutic sessions online. So, yeah, there's a lot to do. That's why another reason why I felt to connect with you, because I feel there is certain things that I had the chance to learn that could also add up to what you are doing. So I felt it would be interesting to speak about that too. So I wrote a book about that, about anxiety and depression, but I feel it's not my specialty. I'm not a doctor. But what I've seen is a common aspect in most of my clients. I don't know about the clinical part of it. That's why I was asking you. But what I can see is there is a few aspects on different levels. There's the spiritual level, there's the emotional level that I feel is entering into the story. And for me, I realized that since I connected with the spiritual side in my life, something has changed. Because the perspective that I have on life is not just restrained to this specific life, this specific body. And so it opened up my perspective and give like less seriousness or importance, if I can say it, to all the problem that we can all have in daily life. So it's like open up my perspective on what all this is really about. So I spend, like months and years in Buddhist monasteries, traveling the world for 7 years, spending time with yogis in India, spending time with shamans and learning all those different therapy. So it has been a journey for me since a long time. And what I found is that most people in every tradition where I've been are kind of having the same type of issues. And often the solution seems to be very effective, and it's kind of the same in some way. Although it depends on the character of the person. But there is certain aspects that are really common. But I don't want to go too far there. You asked me like about how I am. You were going somewhere with that. What was your your thought?
Well, no. I think that what you said was really awesome. That was dope. What I was kind of going with is that usually the most common response is good, fine, and that's pretty much the conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you with your clients, for example, maybe there's times you ask them, well, tell me how you're really feeling. Like, how are you actually feeling right now? Not the topic, not the surface level conversation, right? Do you do that with your clients? Yeah,
that's the main thing. I have the chance to work with a tool that maybe we can share. It's Carl Rogers that kind of spoke about it the most. It's called empathy. And so what you do is to really connect with the person by reflecting what they say and going into all the time to their need and to their feelings. So when a client is speaking to me and telling me about certain things, I kind of reflect what they are saying, and it helps them to see clearly what's really going on, because sometimes we say things, and when you say, you know, I feel fine, okay, what does that mean for you to feel fine? You know, or I feel okay. You know, you say I feel okay. Well, is it okay enough, and what is behind that? And so when you begin to do that with someone, it helps the person to really see what's going on, and it really reflects what you just said of how do you feel right now. Like what's going on right now in your body, what's going on in your mind, what are the type of thoughts that you have. And when you kind of look at all this, it allows you to have a better understanding, and that's where it reflects like the meditation or those kind of practices where you really see clearly what's going on inside yourself, and not just, well, I don't feel really good, but I don't know why, or, you know, there is something that happened and you took the outside and that's the main thoughts that you have. I remember in your video, one of your video, you were speaking about, you know, you control your own thoughts or your own actions. So
try to.
You try to. Well, there is several level to that, but in the sense of, at least if you see your thoughts, you have the choice to react to it or to respond to it or not.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, to your point, though, I think this is definitely a big thing to touch upon. So what you're saying, though, is, so you said empathy. What's so interesting, though, is that a lot of people, when they ask someone how they're doing, the conversation tends to go back to themselves instead of really focusing on the other person. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I think that in society, if I was talking to you, for example, about, you know, how are you doing today? And you said, I'm good. And I said, I'm doing good too. I woke up this morning and I did this and I did that. Your first response, usually what most people do is say, cool, you did? Well, I woke up this morning too, and I did this. The conversation isn't focused only on you, though. And I think that's something that we miss nowadays. Yeah.
I had this conversation with my girlfriend some days ago because of me applying those kind of technique with her too. It's ways to have a better relationship with someone, to, you know, reflect what they say, to show them that you hear them and that you're here for them. And she begins to feel that when people in her surrounding are not doing it, there's something missing in the relationship, because each one is in his own world and just like speak about something, the other one speaks about something, and there's no relationship, you know, there's no interaction.
Yes, man. I'm so happy that you agree with that, bro. Because man, it is honestly, it's kind of annoying.
When you're aware of that,
it's not common. Yeah. And it's not common, bro. Like, a lot of people don't understand them, you know, a lot. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we live in a kind of a society, if you will, that we focus so much on ourselves and don't allow ourselves to have empathy and focus on other people?
Well, one of the main things that I've learned, it's a very good question. I did a type of training for communication, and the main, what we called fence or obstacles to communication, is the fear of entering the other person's world. So what we do often is when we say, how are you? We don't really want to know. And if the person begins to speak about really how they feel, and more if they feel bad, we kind of avoid instantly. And so our first answer, instead of connecting with the emotion of the person, often what we do is, oh, don't worry, it will be better tomorrow. Or we give advice, or we say like a philosophical thing, when in fact, what the person really needs, and that's what makes the difference, is the empathy. I hear that you're feeling bad today. And just the fact of doing that, they have done study, that's what I was speaking about, Carl Rogers, where he was one of the first psychologists to only reflect what his clients were feeling, and getting amazing results just by doing that. Being here as someone listening and showing, I hear what you feel, I understand what you feel. That's it. And I feel you're doing something similar in your video when you say, you know, you're not alone. I'm here too, and I'm connecting with you on the same level. And that creates this connection that we are missing on a deeper level, on an emotional level, on a true level. You know, you're really authentic to do what you're doing because you speak from the heart and you connect on your feelings and needs and emotions.
Right, right.
And that's what we
right.
all need. But we always stay, as you said before, on a superficial level.
Yeah. But to your earlier point, so you said something really interesting. You said that, like, I understand how you feel, right? And now this could be a debate real quick, but when somebody says that, that could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because, for example, let's say that you had a stressful day for some reason, and this happened, that happened, and I say to you, I understand exactly how you feel. Your first response normally is, no, you don't. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way that you can actually understand exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Right? But to your point, when somebody shares their personal struggles with you, their natural response is to either push away or give advice because they think they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good precision what you're saying. If I understand you well, when someone says the words, I understand you, is a problem because you know that they don't understand you. What you want to do when I say you refocus on reflecting and mirroring what the person is saying, the intention or the feeling that the person is having is, I know that he's understanding me and I understand you, but you don't say I understand you. You will feel that I understand you if I'm repeating what you say.
Exactly.
If I'm really aware of your feelings, not if I'm saying I understand you. This is not useful. Totally. I totally agree. You need to really make sure that, okay, what you're telling me now is that you are feeling in a certain way. You are sad, you are happy. This is this happened in your life. Yes. When the person is saying that, then you feel he or she understands you.
Yeah. And even sometimes changing that to, I hear what you're saying, or I say this a lot on my channel, I don't know what you're going through, because that automatically makes somebody say, finally somebody understands me. And isn't that like by saying I don't know what you're going through, that makes somebody feel like they're understood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You connect to the fact that no one can experience what they are experiencing.
Yes, man. Yes. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, wow.
So did you follow any trainings, or is just by your own experience? When you were speaking about your breakup, you probably read, or what was your path, to have this understanding and begin to share those, thoughts? And
so that's a really good question. So throughout my whole entire life, I've dealt with anxiety in the sense of rapid thinking, and all day long, my mind is constantly thinking. And I've always been in a position where I looked at situations, and I honestly, personally, just believe that, God's given me like a gift, or spirit, if you will, has given me a gift of mentally understanding somebody through empathy. So I haven't had any training. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree, and I make sure people know that I'm not a professional, because I'm not here to cure depression or anything like that.
Yeah.
But so when I went through that breakup, it kind of like kicked me into a mental mode of trying to find out who I am as a person, and understanding that all my happiness was in another person, which is never a good thing.
Yeah.
And so many other things, as I've said in my channel. But overall, man, it's just all this stuff about me talking to you, talking to other people, has come from my wanting to understand how the mind works, how your mind works, and help people. What about you?
Well, I've been always interested, so it's good what you're saying, because I think often people think that you need to have those training. And what most of the later psychologists, or when you go into certain spiritual traditions that kind of say the same thing, is that we all have this. We just didn't learn to connect with it. And because of the problem that we have, and because of the education that we had, that the people who were in front of us didn't behave this way, we lost it. But when you connect back to this essence of being human, wanting to help others, wanting to connect with others, this comes naturally.
Yes.
But it's difficult to do that because we are so overwhelmed with our own problems, with our own thoughts, with our own situation, that we don't see the other one. And one of the technique in psychology that is very powerful is to take the position of an observer when you look at your own life, behaviors, emotions, is to look at this from the outside perspective. And by connecting with the others, you also do the same thing. You go out of your own self and become the other one because you connect with his own emotions, feelings,
Yes.
life, and what he's experiencing.
Wow. That's deep, man.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like, it's sometimes, honestly, having conversations like this, it kind of surprises me because not in everyday life do you see people talk about these things. So personally, from growing on YouTube and meeting new people like you and other great people, it's still surprising. Like, it throws me off guard sometimes to think that, wow, there are other people that understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
And what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Does that ever surprise you at times, or?
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the sense that because I've been in the spiritual world and self-help type of domain since I'm 22, so it's like 15 years. I will not say surprised, but I'm always grateful to meet more and more people who are in this kind of way of thinking, and I'm grateful to know that they are influencing their life. That's why, I was really touched by the way you speak and what you do, because I would love what I do, and the same reason as you, I'm doing those videos and I'm doing the job that I'm doing to help people to get something that is really going to change their life. Yeah. And what I would love is that it spreads more, but the thing is that most of people are interested in things that just, give them joy, instant joy. Would it be, the alcohol or all the way we use watching TV and going out and doing all those things? But the moment you just refocus a little bit on yourself, trying to understand the mind, as you say, and that should be the first things we should learn at school, is really understand how your mind works and how your emotion works. Yeah. And if you would do that, the whole society, the whole world would change. Yes. And what happened to me, to answer your question, is it's funny because we connect with people who are like on the same level as we are, or who are going through the same thing. So the people who watch your videos, they are connected with you because they are on the same type of struggle and everything. Right. And where I'm connected with people is more because I'm living a completely different life. I choose to be out of the society in many different ways. And so I'm connected with people that are thinking the same way. Like, they think, is it normal that I don't want to have like a normal job and a normal life the way we are taught to do? Right. So when they connect with me, they're like, oh, it feels so good to see someone that is living like this and assuming, the fact that you are different from others by sharing what you think or what you feel and living in a different way. So that's more what I'm surprised is to see that there's so many people who do think differently than the mainstream and search for something else in life.
Wow. I'm glad you shared that. And I guarantee you, growing up probably wasn't easy at times because, come on now. I mean, like, it's not easy going against the mainstream, right? Maybe you've gone through certain experiences, but there have been times where even when I started this YouTube journey that people are like, why are you talking about this? Why are you, like, do something funny or do something entertaining for that instant gratification that you just talked about.
Yes.
And that's not, what happens from instant gratification, it goes away and then you're left at the same spot. But what you do with your clients, you changing their lives and impacting them for potentially years, if not their whole life. So at the end, which one has a lot more weight? Which one's more valuable?
Yep. Yep. And when you speak about values of impacting people, that's another key that probably the people who are watching you, or someone who is in depression or doesn't know what to do with their life, because it's often related with that also, is understanding that one of the main thing, and I could see it in every spiritual tradition around the world, when you contribute, when you do something meaningful in your life, you do feel much more better than anyone else.
Yes.
Because it has meaning. and having meaning, contributing, helping, if you only take that and do that in your life, it's always going to be fulfilling on a deeper level compared to watching TV and going out and doing all those things.
Or working a 9 to 5. I mean, like, no, it just depends. It depends on the job. Like, I'm not going to try and knock 9 to 5 jobs, you know, because some jobs people are legit helping people. So there's nothing wrong with that. You know, this actually, you know, I know my mind's kind of going everywhere. This is kind of like how my mind works sometimes. But as a graphic designer, like, I love what I do, but if I make a logo or a flyer, I'm not directly impacting somebody the same way I would if I was speaking to them directly. So that alone is enough reason for me to work on trying to become a full-time YouTube creator and motivational speaker. Okay. Just like I'm guessing you wanted to help people directly and you started to build your own business, get clients, you know, maybe a job, 9 to 5 job, helping somebody else. Would you be happy? You know, I'm genuinely curious. Would you be happy working a 9 to 5 job that you're not directly impacting people, or do you think you're happier now?
Oh, I had the chance, for whatever reason, since I'm young, to think differently. So I never worked for a 9 to 5 job. I did it maybe for a month or two in my whole life.
What?
And you know, there is a saying on my Facebook page, which is the first book that I wrote, and I truly believe that we should be willing to die for our beliefs. And I always believed that for me, what was the most important was to follow my heart. The title of my book is Listen to Your Heart and Live Your Dreams.
Wow.
And I always believed that whatever the consequences, I'm not going to go against what I feel and what I believe. So no, I will not be happy and fulfilled at all if I do something like that against that. That's for sure.
I did not want to see you in a 9 to 5, man.
And it's not. I think it's not about the 9 to 5 specifically, but really, one of the main key. And I know you have a meeting, so we will maybe close soon. So, one of the main key that I found for myself and for most of people. Well, there's several, but there is one that is really important, and maybe we could do another talk to speak about deeper things.
For sure.
It's the notion of values, like what is valuable for us. And when I say values, it's what is important for us. I will take example. For me, I know who I am. I worked on myself, so I know that freedom is really important for me. Helping others, caring for others is important for me. Being generous and being in the nature, having fresh air and water around me is important. And if you don't adapt your life to the values or the things that are important that reflects who you are as a person, and we are all different. So the 9 to 5, some people really need the security of the job. It does fulfill their values of, I need security and I need to have this, and I find fulfillment on what I do on side. And they do feel fulfilled. Now, the job needs to fit with who they are. And that's where the distinction is.
Right. That's a good point. I agree with that, man. There are some people that I know that love a 9 to 5. So you're exactly right about that. Some people it's meant for. Yeah. For us, it's not.
You need to know yourself, and that's where it's really hard work. Is first step knowing where you are, who you are, and then adapting your life to that. And what I've seen in most people, in my clients or people that I've met, the most difficult step, and that's what I use this sentence really, to be willing to die for what you believe, because the most difficult step for most people is to act upon what they think and what they feel. And taking those actions, and you spoke about that in your videos, you know, like you control your own actions. And that's really what it is. And if we let the outside controlling us, you know, would it be other people, the way they think, the society, you will never be fulfilled. The only thing you can do is to own your actions and act upon it. And if you do that, I don't know until which level, because I'm not having clinical depressions or those kind of problems, but I could see that all the people that I've been coaching or helping and that have done this, feel way more fulfilled in their life. They find something that is at ease inside themselves because they are really listening to themselves and they are in harmony between who they are and what they do. Does it make sense for you?
And that makes perfect sense. That I think it's like I could talk to you so much about just that, like taking action, and that's like the hardest step that a lot of people, like you said, are afraid to take that first step for so many. Oh, sorry about that.
Yep, no worries.
My phone's trying to die, but for so many different reasons. And no, I feel you. I really hope that we can honestly make a whole video just on taking action, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, but dude, you know, as you know, I do have to go, man. But appreciate just talking to you about this, because it's the fact to know that there's somebody else out there that wants to help people, that is spreading a positive message like you are, that's helping people every single day. I truly am grateful for that, and I really do appreciate just talking to you about this.
Yeah, I feel the same, you know, that's what I wanted to really connect with you. And the other thing that I feel is also what is really inspiring and brings a lot of hope is that you've been through this and you have understood all that by your own experience, which is a beautiful way to show that anyone can do the same if they put the effort and have the right philosophy, state of mind, whatever you've used. And that's what I was feeling like you can bring a lot, because you know, sometimes the people who follow me, they feel, well, you're different and you have this state of mind. And I do have some background that helped me with, you know, doing sports on a high level and different things like this. But when I see someone that has the clinical depression that you have and went through difficulties and the breakup that was difficult for you, all those different things, and still you're able to overcome that, you know, by your own thinking and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful, inspiring thing to do for people.
Thank you, man. Dude, you make me so happy, bro. You have no idea, man. I'm trying not to get too emotional, man. It's just, wow. Wow.
I feel the
that
same.
That made me speechless, man. Wow. I can't get too emotional on this camera. Not today. Maybe another video. But what you just said, man, like I've never met you in person. Like man, I'm just blown away right now. So just thank you for saying that, bro. Thank you. That means a lot more than you know. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
well, that's what I feel, you know, and that's why it's beautiful when you do this. In empathy, you do something that is called the immediati, like the present moment thing. That you speak a lot about, that people speak a lot about meditation and everything. But it's like, if you really listen to what you feel right now, it's the truth. And so when you speak from the heart and you just say, well, that's what's going on right now, you know? That's where you connect on the very true level, authentic level. And that's really where relationships should be. And that's what we can do now, you know? It's like we're open, we feel connected in some ways, and we just want to share and want to help. It comes from the right place. It just flows.
Yeah. Wow. All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much, man.
Thank you for doing that, and let's do another talk to go deeper and somewhere else. So I don't know.
For sure, man. Now, before I go, I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I take? You got to give a thumbs up. All right, like put your thumb up, and I'm going to take a screenshot. All right. Here, you ready? Hold on. Wait. Here we go. Wait a minute. I got to flip it. All right. Thumbs up. 3, 2. Well, make a funny face. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Nice.